Hi everyone, welcome to today's arm balance tutorial where we'll look at Titibasana or Firefly pose. We'll go again through a couple of sun salutations, open up the wrists and the hamstrings to take flight. So first of all, we can just release the shoulders away from the ears. We find our Ujjayi breath, slowing that breath down. Just taking a moment to connect the mind to the breath and the breath to the body. Sending the focus, the attention inwards, and also finding our core strength, our core control. So we're drawing inwards with those internal abdominals, lifting in the pelvic floor, thinking about wrapping the muscles in around the center. Lifting both hands. On an exhalation, just try to work the heel of the hands down towards the floor, but keep that extension in the spine, so we open through the muscles in the forearm or the forearms. And then we can release. And this time, taking an exhalation, walk the fingertips forwards. Just begin to round in the spine, leaving both sitting bones connected to the floor. We slowly walk the hands over to the right hand side, creating extension through the left side of the body. And bringing it back to center. Same to the other side, walking those hands over. We open through the side of the body. And then again coming back to center, we slowly roll back up through the spine, restacking the vertebrae. Just readjust, getting into a tabletop position first of all. On an inhalation, we release in the spine and look up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we round in the back, bring chin to chest, looking towards the floor. Again, inhale to release. And then we exhale, round in the spine, bring chin to chest, releasing that tailbone down. We go last time, breathing in. And then exhale to rounds. Releasing into that neutral spine position. Tuck the toes underneath and float both knees away from the floor. Softening the knees one at a time, pedaling through the feet, opening through those hamstrings. And then on the next exhalation, try to press both heels down towards the floor together. Those knees soften, we lift the heels. Slowly walking the feet forwards towards the hands. This time just pressing the back of the hands to the floor. We bring the palms underneath the soles of the feet. Knees can be soft as we exhale to release, just keeping that neck nice and free. And then we can release. We take a deep breath in. Lifting both arms, bring palms together. And exhale, draw hands down to the heart center. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hinge, coming forwards from the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale to release, step into a lunge, then into a high plank. Either soften the knees to the floor or bring the weight forwards. Exhale, elbows bend, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then as we exhale, we lift up and back into our downward facing dog. First of all, inhale, lift and float. Right leg up towards the ceiling, keeping hips squared. As we exhale, we soften that knee, round the spine, planting the foot to the floor, lengthen through both legs. Option to stay here. Maybe lifting the hands. We bring the fingertips to the elbows behind the body, or bring palms together. Let the fingertips face up and in between those shoulder blades in reverse prayer. Just waking the hamstrings, the wrist and the muscles of the back up. And then again we can release. Knees soften, stepping those feet in. We just step the other foot back, lengthening in both legs. Option to stay here, or inhale, lifting those arms, we take hold of the elbows to fold. Option, maybe bring palms together and let fingertips face up and in between the shoulder blades. Breathing into that fold, into the stretch. And then again we can release, framing that foot. Knees soften, stepping feet in, forward fold. Inhale, both arms lift. Exhale, draw hands, heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge, coming forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale to release, coming back, high plank. Either knees to the floor, or again, exhale, full chaturanga. Inhale, lifting cobra or up dog. And exhale either into table or into a downward facing dog. This time, inhale, soften the knees, lift the heels away from the floor, send the hands slightly wider, and walk, step or floats the feet through the gap, lengthening both legs. We soften just the right knee. Option to take hold either of the lower leg or interlace fingers around the foot, lifting the foot away from the floor. Press to extend that leg, coming into heron pose. As always, we're trying to avoid collapsing backwards here. So we use the resistance through the arms to lift the upper body out towards the toes. And then we can release, the knee softens, we change sides. So bending just the other knee, we take hold either of the lower leg, or again, interlace fingers around the foot, finding that length, that extension in the spine. As we exhale, we press to lift away. And then again we release. We cross both legs, press those hands through, coming into either table, or tuck the toes and exhale, lifting into a down dog. The knees soften, the heels lift. We either walk, step, or we can float, feet forwards. Inhale, lift both arms, bring palms together. And exhale, drawing hands, heart center. Bring the hands to the hips, and just stepping out to face towards me. So remember, we've got more chance of maintaining our balance if we keep breathing. We power through those arms. First of all, inhale, open and dome through the ribs. We take a bit of a back bend. Then as we exhale, we come forwards towards the floor. Bring either fingertips or palms to the floor, or maybe 2 fingers around each big toe, a bit like a hook. So we exhale to go a bit further into that fold. We can release. For Firefly, place both hands to the floor first of all, and we make sure the fingers face the same direction as the toes. Then just sending those hands back as far as possible. It takes a little while to get comfortable in this arm balance. We soften the knees and then begin to walk the feet a little bit closer in. Now, only if we can get the heel of the hands down to the floor. So the hands need to be flat and the fingertips need to face the same direction as the toes. We can then begin to soften into those knees, and we are literally sitting down onto those triceps. So sitting down on the arms, and also the elbows bend. So we're just replacing the weight through the feet into the arms, into the hands. Remember our suction pads, we draw the weight up and out of the floor. Trick is, as we sink the hips back, we float those feet away. Option, if we have open hamstrings, we lengthen through those legs. The more we tip the hips towards the floor, the higher those legs will lift. In our Firefly arm balance. Remember to keep breathing. Try not to hunch those shoulders, but keep space across the upper back. There's a slight bend in those elbows. You can release. And lengthening through both legs. First of all, walking those feet a bit further apart. Soften the knees, release hips back. Restack the vertebrae, lifting away from the floor. Let's go one more time, one more round. Bring the hands to the hips. Breathe in first of all, we open and dome through those ribs, taking a back bend. Then as we exhale, we come forwards towards the floor. Fingertips or palms to the floor. If possible, we send those hands back. So the hands, if I go from the side, the hands come underneath and through the legs. Then begin to close the gap between the feet. So we're walking those feet closer together. Takes a little bit of adjusting here to get safe, to get used to it. Finding that optimum position. We bend the elbows. We're literally sitting down onto those triceps. Maybe we can practice floating one foot away from the floor at a time. Or send both feet away. And the more we tip the hips towards the floor, the higher those feet will go. Remember, there's not really a long way to fall out of this posture. So it's perhaps one of the safest arm balances to practice. And we release. So just finding a seated position. Bring those feet close together. Then release the knees down towards the floor. And take hold either of the lower legs or take hold of the feet. And as we exhale, just coming forwards towards those toes. And then again, restacking the vertebrae, rolling up through the spine. Either sitting with the legs crossed or the legs long to finish. Deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms. And exhale out through the mouth. One more time, deep breath in. Breathe out through the mouth. And relax. Thank you.